Hi, Dale Brown again, and the senior pastor of the Charge Cooperative Parish that consists of Community Church at Ocean Pines and Bates United Methodist Church in Snow Hill, which is a beautiful church, and Trinity United Methodist Church in Newark, Maryland, another beautiful church as well. Great people, all three churches. I want to talk to you in conclusion today about the 23rd Psalm. One more little textual question that I think is interesting. Austin is here with me taping, Austin Bucciani, and he and I have been talking about the fact that sometimes we remember certain things in King James English, 23rd Psalm being one of them. But more modern translations can also add a different perspective, a different light on some of the text. So one of the texts says, and I should dwell in the house of the Lord, Austin, how long? Forever, right? That's the old King James. That's based on one manuscript in the ancient catalog of manuscripts. More modern translations say, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord my whole life long. So which is it? Well, I think to some degree, if you're like me, and I'm 62 and I memorized the King James version of the 23rd Psalm to become a member of Salem United Methodist Church in Pocomoke when I was in confirmation, that forever sticks with me. But I have to tell you, I'm not really sure that that's the right translation. But here's what I know to be true. Either way, what we are celebrating with that verse is that God is a God who provides for our protection, our safety, our well-being. Whether that provision is for my whole life long or forever. Now, I'll say this in addition. God's provision, God's protection, God's creating for us a place during our lives is really important. All my life as a United Methodist pastor, I lived in parsonages, and parsonages are homes that are provided to clergy because we are sent by a bishop to different places, and sometimes it might be difficult to get a home in that area. And having a home, having a place to live, not being a person who is unhoused, is so really important. And having your own home, that own space, is really special. When I was on sabbatical last year, I realized how special being at home was. And I loved being at home. What about this translation of forever? There are so many places where in the Bible where God's provision and care for us is for this life and for all eternity. We really don't have to choose. We know that God has provided for us in this lifetime, if your translation says my whole life long. But we also know that through our faith in Jesus Christ and our belief that Christ is risen and living, that we can say, yes, God's provision for us is forever. So have you ever asked someone a question like, is it this or is it that? And they say both, or they say yes. That's the answer for today. Not every verse of Scripture or every passage of Scripture can carry the weight of everything. And you can have full confidence that God is providing for you, for me, for Austin, for all of us through our lifetime. And God has certainly provided through Jesus Christ for our eternity. God bless you and have a great day.